Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most incredible and, honestly, misunderstood animal families on the entire planet, the bears. We're going to take a trip all the way from the frozen Arctic to the deep tropical rainforests, because these animals have adapted in ways that are just truly mind-blowing. So, let's get into it.
So when I say the word bear, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably something huge, brown, maybe a little intimidating, right? And look, you're not wrong, but that's just one tiny piece of the puzzle. The world of bears is absolutely packed with these amazing specialists, incredibly clever survivors, and even some gentle giants you might never have heard of. It's time to completely rethink what it means to be a bear. Okay, so we're going to start with the big guns, the heavyweights. These are the two bears that have become absolute legends, you know? They're the symbols of raw, wild strength and pure endurance. These guys are the undisputed kings of their worlds.
And first up, of course, is the grizzly bear, also known as the brown bear. This animal is, for all intents and purposes, nature's heavyweight champion. This is that classic, powerful, serious bear of the wilderness that commands respect from pretty much every other living thing in its environment.
What's so amazing about the grizzly is this combination of brute force and unbelievable speed. I mean, think about it. This is an animal that can weigh over 300 kilograms, yet it can outrun a human sprinter hitting speeds of 35 miles per hour. That's insane. Then you add in a sense of smell that can detect food from miles away, a diet that lets it eat basically anything, and the ability to just sleep through the toughest winters. You've got a true master of survival. All right, now let's travel from those forests and mountains to a totally different world, the vast, white, frozen landscape of the Arctic. This is where we find our next icon, the polar bear. This isn't just any bear. It's the largest land carnivore on Earth, and literally every single part of its body is designed to survive in one of the most brutal environments imaginable.
You see, the polar bear is a masterclass in specialization. Its entire life is built around the sea ice. It patiently waits at breathing holes for seals, its primary food source. That brilliant white fur isn't just for camouflage. It, along with a super thick layer of fat, provides incredible insulation from the biting cold. But here's the catch. That incredible specialization is also its greatest weakness. Its whole world, its entire way of life, is literally melting away beneath its paws.
So when you put them side by side, you see two completely different game plans for getting to the top. The grizzly is the ultimate flexible generalist. It can eat pretty much anything. It can live in all sorts of landscapes. The polar bear, though, it's a highly specialized hunter, perfectly, and I mean perfectly, tuned for one specific job in one specific place. Both are apex predators, for sure, but their strategies for survival couldn't be more opposite. And hey, speaking of specialists, let's totally shift gears. We're moving away from that raw, dominant power and turning to some bears that have carved out some very specific, and let's be honest, kind of weird, niches for themselves. These are the bears that completely broke the mold. You absolutely cannot talk about specialized bears without bringing up the giant panda. I mean, come on, this is the beloved gentle giant of the bear world. But here's the wild part. If you look at its biology, its digestive system, a panda is technically a carnivore. Yet its entire existence, its whole world, revolves around eating one single plant. Get this, a whopping 99% of a panda's diet is bamboo. And because bamboo has so few nutrients, they have to spend 10 to 14 hours every single day just eating to get enough energy to survive. They've even evolved this unique wrist bone that acts like a thumb just to help them grip the bamboo stalks. It is a world away from the grizzly's all-eat-anything strategy. They are absolutely adorable, but efficient? Not so much. Now for our next specialist, let's meet the sloth bear. Now don't let the name or the shaggy fur fool you. This bear is a highly efficient, purpose-built machine. I want you to picture it as the forest's own little vacuum cleaner, on a mission to find and eat as many termites and ants as it possibly can. The sloth bear's toolkit is just awesome. First, it uses these huge, powerful claws to just tear open rock-hard termite mounds. Then it uses its long snout and these really flexible lips to create a powerful suction, literally slurping up hundreds of insects in just a few seconds. And maybe the most charming thing about them? The mothers often carry their little cubs on their backs, where they just cling on to all that shaggy fur for the ride.
Okay, so we've seen bears that rule the land and the ice. Now I want you to look up. We're heading into the canopy to meet the bears who have truly mastered life in the trees. These are the climbers, the ones who spend a huge chunk of their lives high above the forest floor.
First up, meet the sun bear. This is officially the smallest bear in the world. But don't let its size fool you for a second. This little bear is packed with personality. It lives in the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia, and it has this really sleek, short coat to stay cool, and this bright golden patch on its chest that kind of looks like a rising sun. But here is probably its most incredible feature: its tongue. A sun bear's tongue can be up to 25 centimeters long. That's almost 10 inches. It uses this super long, remarkable tool to reach way down deep into logs and beehives to get at honey and insects. It's so good at it, people even call it the honey bear. It's just a perfect, wild example of specialized adaptation. All right, next is a bear that many of you might be familiar with, the American black bear. This is the most common and widespread bear in all of North America. And yeah, it's a fantastic climber, but its real secret to success? Pure, unadulterated adaptability. These bears are some of the most clever problem solvers in the animal kingdom, and they can make a home almost anywhere.
Black bears wrote the book on survival. They're amazing climbers, they're skilled swimmers, and they have incredible memories, especially when it comes to remembering where food is. But here's the thing, their greatest strength, that incredible adaptability, is also what gets them into the most trouble. As they learn to wander into our towns and backyards looking for an easy meal, their biggest challenge becomes figuring out how to coexist with us. Let's take a trip way down to South America to meet its one and only native bear species, the spectacled bear, which is also called the Andean bear. And it gets its name from these really cool pale markings around its eyes that often look just like a pair of glasses.
What's really cool is that the pattern of those spectacles is totally unique to each bear, just like a human fingerprint. These are really gentle bears that live way up high in the misty cloud forests of the Andes Mountains. They are phenomenal climbers, so good in fact that they often build little platforms out of branches high up in trees to rest or eat on. And with a diet that's almost entirely plants, they're one of the most peaceful bears you'll ever find.
Our last climber is the moon bear, also known as the Asiatic black bear. You can find this bear all across Asia, and it's named for that really striking V-shaped crescent moon-like marking on its chest. Just like its American cousin, the black bear, it is an absolutely fantastic climber, using trees all the time to find food and, of course, to escape from danger.
So, from the freezing Arctic to the high Andes, we've just seen this incredible spectrum of shapes, sizes, diets, and survival strategies. It's amazing, right? But for all their differences, almost every single one of these remarkable animals is connected by one single unfortunate thread.
I mean, just think about it. We've met the heavyweight grizzly, the super specialized polar bear, the bamboo-obsessed panda, and the tiny little sun bear with its crazy long tongue. They are all part of the same family, Ursidae, and it's just a beautiful testament to evolution's power to take one basic blueprint and adapt it to fill countless different roles all over the globe. But this is the shared struggle. For all their power, for all their cleverness and adaptability, nearly every single species of bear faces huge threats. And almost all of those threats come from us, from human activity. We're talking about habitat loss from deforestation and farming, climate change melting the ice caps, direct conflicts over resources, and illegal hunting. The future for these magnificent animals is far from guaranteed. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. We've seen the specialists, right, like the panda and the polar bear, who are absolute masters of their one thing, but they're incredibly vulnerable when that one thing changes. And then we've seen the generalists, the adapters, like the grizzly and the black bear, who can roll with the punches. So, in a world that is changing faster than ever, whose strategy do you think is the better bet for survival? The specialist or the generalist?